Hello again, welcome to the Blunders, one and all. I'm Paul Theron, yes, warrior in defense of abused corporations all over the world, like they need the help. I'm going to give the South African government a break this week because Blunders 153 went viral, 41,000 views. Booyah! We're winning. I'm going to tone down the swearing this week too to please my dad. So let's look to West Africa for the biggest blunder of the week. Shareholders of the mobile phone giant MTN will be well familiar with the problems that company has encountered up in Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria. What one can say about Nigeria that hasn't already been said? It's an attractive market, of course, because it's densely populated and economically, vibrant. But it's a tough place to do business. Oh man, is it a tough place to do business. It's a fucking nightmare. Sorry, Dad. Despite having invested billions and billions and billions of rands in telecommunications infrastructure up there in order to help them grow the economy, MTN has been routinely victimized by the Nigerian government. They've been fined huge amounts for so-called regulatory breaches of Nigeria's Byzantine consumer regulations, weird tax laws, really strange dividend payment extraction systems, and the worst of all is their foreign exchange system, where they have this crazy Kafkaesque system for managing the naira, where you have to submit documents in triplicate in order to be told how much money you've got. But the fines, of course, no, they're very good at that. In 2015, they got dropped on with a $5.2 billion fine for breaches associated with new cell phone sales. They were basically required to collect proofs of residence and that sort of thing, and biometric information for a country where a significant number of people live in shacks, including on parts of Lagos which are garbage that's been shoved into the harbor, sprinkled with sawdust, and then had homes built on top of them. That fine was reduced, big time, down to $1.7 billion in eventual outcome. I mean, these people clearly like to haggle. Back taxes, $2.1 billion. Told to repatriate $8.1 billion because of a dividend that had already been sent out to Mauritius and South Africa. Those matters are still rumbling. Now look, I might be biased. Okay, I'm definitely biased, but it looks to me like this is just rent extraction by the Nigerian government because they don't like a foreign-owned company that's making out big money. Forgetting, of course, that because of their intransigence and their crazy populist politicians, they are going to drive away the foreign investment that is the key to their promotion of economic growth. I mean, Buhari, the president, came up with some nonsense about how MTN's business was helping Boko Haram because of the way that this had been done. Anyway, forget about the fact that South African government's going to be able to help you out here because, we've got so little leverage up there because here in South Africa, we're so awful to Nigerians that they all hate us up there. Anyway, long rant. Suffice it to say, the Nigerian government is now getting a taste of its own medicine. A British judge has ordered them to pay $9 billion to a small private company called Process and Industrial Developments, PIND. PIND is a gas company. It's an engineering outfit. They reached a deal with the Nigerians back in 2010 to build a natural gas processing plant, but the deal fell through 2 years later. PIND sued them because they had a contract that provided for arbitration in the UK. Big mistake. So now the firm was awarded a $6.6 billion payout in the arbitration process in 2017. But the London court has now converted that to a legal judgment and said, thanks for coming. You can have another $2.4 billion in interest. That amount, $9 billion, is equivalent to more than about 20% of Nigeria's foreign reserves. $45 billion foreign reserves. This $9 billion is going to make a big hole in those. Now, of course, the Nigerian government is whining about how the English courts don't have the authority to rule on the dispute. Their lawyers laughably described the initial award as manifestly excessive. Well, we know how that feels, manifestly excessive. Fuck you, Nigeria. Sorry, Dad. Now look, the judge's decision is particularly worrying for the Nigerians because the way this stuff works, if you have a foreign court that has ruled that you owe money, they have the right to begin seizing Nigerian assets offshore in order to satisfy this award as soon as possible. This gets very interesting because PIND may go after the banks that handle Nigeria's foreign debt programs and the payment of interest tranches on those. We've seen similar cases like these where Argentina, Venezuela, those kinds of places, they interrupted the payoff of existing sovereign bond issues by putting an interdict in against the banks that were handling those things. So if you can't pay your foreign bondholders, that means you're in default. That means you are out of here with regard to foreign financing. It means you're properly fucked. You're in big trouble. Big trouble, Nigeria.